What's up, bankers?
Hello, bankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? How are you doing? Did you get engaged this summer break? Because George Russell did.
Yeah.
Why
Big
wasn't he with
mistake.
Toto? Why wasn't he with Toto in Sardinia? Because he was getting engaged. Okay, he was getting engaged. Obviously,
Yeah.
Toto was dying for him to be with him in Sardinia. But George said, no, Toto. Got other things on my mind.
I've got commitments elsewhere. I got somebody else who's willing to commit to me. And her name is Carmen Muntz. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And you know what? We'll see what happens with the last name. Maybe she's Carmen Muntz Russell, or maybe she's just she keeps
Carmen
the last
Russell
name.
Muntz, or maybe she just doesn't even take his
Or
last
maybe
name.
George Russell changes the last name because he goes into hiding after the season and he wants to,
That's right.
he's like, no, actually, that's me now.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. Well, we got some stuff to talk about today because, as much as silly season, we were hoping maybe would bring a shift in driver dynamic. Maybe someone was going to move teams, blah, blah, blah. Today, I think we got to talk about not only George Russell's engagement, which we'll get to, but Cadillac is the story right now. Who would have thunk?
Yep. Cadillac, they not only they fired their team principal and replaced him with Marcin Budkowski.
Yeah.
But their owner's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, there is some serious high-level drama going on with the TWG group who owns Cadillac. And honestly, I'm actually excited to talk about this. This is like the first this is a real billionaire scandal. Succession level scandal going on right now. It's affecting a lot of the sporting world. Most recently,
I thought you were going to say, what you meant to say is it's affecting real sports.
It is affecting real sports. And it's maybe, we'll see, going to affect Formula One. But before we get into all of that, this is, of course, the Red Flags part of the Vox Media Network. Few, just items to cover before we get started. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you are listening or watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hype this video. We're going to be breaking billionaire tea. And also, babies, pre-order our book.
That's right.
Formula 101 for F1 fans who love the drama. We talk about billionaire scandals in that book, and I think we have another one on our hands. So I think let's just get into a little bit of the news that has come out this week and the implications for the larger motorsport and sporting world. The reason kind of why we're talking about Cadillac is because Cadillac has fired their team principal, Graham Loudon, after, not a lot of time. It's obviously been a bad year for the Cadillac F1 team, but even given that this was a shocking firing, they've brought on former Alpine executive and longtime motorsport hanger-arounder, Marcin Budkowski. This guy has a very long resume. He has been all over the Formula One grid. He was even part of the, when they wanted to do the World Cup kind of motorsport, he was one of the guys heading that up. And then most recently, he was doing some pundit work and talking about the motorsport world, but he's kind of been around. So this is a pretty shocking departure and rehire, given that they are only halfway through their first Formula One season. What was your response to hearing this news, Matt?
Didn't really care.
Yeah.
We're
not going to talk about this for long because there's more interesting things happening. So let's we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll talk about the interesting shit.
Here's the thing. I don't know anything about lower level executives, but
right.
They kind of replaced one unexciting executive for another unexciting executive. Marcin Budkowski was one of the many guys on the sort of guillotine of Alpine.
Right.
Like he was just one of the rotating guys, didn't have a big chance there, didn't have a lot of success there. And who knows? It's like, my thing is if you're going to bring in a new guy, bring in a splashy guy. Bring in Christian Horner. Bring in somebody excited. It's like if you're just going to fire one guy that's boring to bring in another guy that's boring, and it seems so haphazard. Apparently, Budkowski hasn't been to the factory. This is all very haphazard. Like this guy's going to be. You're switching horses. You're switching unexciting horses midstream.
Right.
So I don't really know what the benefit is of just dropping this unexciting guy in with sort of no time to get his feet wet, nothing. Like you're not setting this guy up for success, this Marcin Budkowski. I don't really understand it. It's also so interesting because the race did a thing about this. They're like, I think this is unfair. Like, I actually think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
Like bringing this, they were not that far off the pace. This, that, and the other thing. And I'm thinking to myself, these are the same guys that just slag off Gunther Steiner every chance they get. I'm like, dude, Gunther Steiner brought it. Does nobody, do none of these fucking idiots remember that Gunther Steiner brought a team to the grid, did the same exact fucking job.
The same job.
He did the same thing and they finished like fifth and they were getting points immediately. Pre-budget cap.
Yes.
Like, so I'm like, I'm seeing these guys from the race who look and sound like smart people saying the dumbest things. They're like, he's actually done a really good job. They're actually only like a few tenths off the pace. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like,
I'm also like, what pace? What pace are they a few tenths off of? Like, they're 5 seconds off of Mercedes pace every single qualifying.
In what world are they not doing a horrible job when you compare them to the last team that did this? Haas. They're doing a terrible job when you compare them to Haas.
I agree.
They're awful.
No. I mean, obviously, I don't think this guy has done a bang-up job. He hasn't certainly done a fucking... I mean, every single race, their brakes are catching on fire. They're a complete non-factor this year. What's also just really interesting to me about the timing of this, because it feels like a lateral move, as you said, is that now this brings eyeballs to Cadillac in the midst of the larger thing happening with Cadillac's ownership, which is the real thing I want to discuss today. That is the real thing that I want to discuss today, because if you have not heard, this kind of kicked off. It's been happening for a little bit, but most recently, Mark Walter, the owner of many a sports team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, most recently, the Los Angeles Lakers, Cadillac F1 team, Andretti, Chelsea. This guy owns many sports teams and has had a lot of success doing it, but most recently bought the Lakers about a year ago for a historic $10 billion. He bought it from the Buss family who had owned it since the 70s, and it was a huge deal. Massive deal. The Lakers, one of the most famous franchises in all of sport, was sold for $10 billion. We can get into Flavio Briatore saying that Alpine should be worth $4 billion when the Lakers are worth 10, but that's neither here nor there. And then all of a sudden, not necessarily out of nowhere, but to many people who aren't paying attention all the time, he sells it a year later for $12.5 billion, making a $2.5 billion profit. He sells it to Bob Iger, former head of Disney, and Jared Kushner's brother, whose name is, what's his first name?
Josh Kushner.
Josh Kushner. Josh Kushner. Sells it to Josh Kushner.
You could have guessed that. It's either Josh or Jacob.
Now, this raises eyebrows. Why is he selling it? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's come out, and this has been going on for a while, but there was a whistleblower, and it's now, making news that Walter and the TWG group is under SEC and federal investigation for essentially lending money from from some of his enterprises into his private enterprises. Walter owns a conglomerate of different healthcare companies, insurance companies, and basically the accusation is that he's taken the premiums that people pay into his insurance companies, and he has taken those premiums, because that's a huge amount of cash that you're sitting on, which how insurance companies do their thing is they take the premiums, they take this big wad of cash, and they invest it to try to make that wad of cash that they have grow. Now, he has put it into his other enterprises, and they have not disclosed how much they put in. I think they said there was a 3% of the money that they invested, and it wound up being about 42%, which went from about $3 billion to like $20 billion in terms of their investments.
Also, there's speculation about, because when he bought the Dodgers or the Lakers, I forgot what they're like.
The
I
Dodgers.
think when he bought the Lakers, because he bought the Dodgers and he bought the Lakers, and then people were like, "Does he have enough cash for this?" And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll get it. I'll get the cash." So a lot of people think he borrowed money from his businesses,
right,
to buy the Lakers or to buy the Dodgers.
Buy the
also
Dodgers,
part of the problem is that he basically, it's kind of not fair, because like if I went to a bank and I say I want a loan, the bank will say, okay, here's the interest rates, here's the penalty if you don't pay. They give me all of these sort of terms, and then they give me the loan. When he goes to his companies and says, I want a loan, he then says, okay, here's the rate of interest I'm willing to pay. Here's what happens if, like, it's like anti-competitive. It's not fair, because he owns the company. He owns the bank in this case. He's telling the bank how much money to loan him and at what rate and what happens if he doesn't pay. It's completely ludicrous. Also, there's a lot of like, it's interesting because like people also are not sure about, how much of the money to buy the Lakers was his and how much maybe came from the Middle East. And I think the NBA, unlike F1, maybe doesn't want that sort of money in the sport necessarily in the same way that, soccer has embraced it, same way F1 has embraced it. They're a little bit more, they care a little bit more about that. But what's interesting is, obviously, is that when this investigation happens about all this self-dealing, the Dodgers, because here's the thing about Mark Walters is people love the Dodgers fans, they love Mark Walters.
Well, he's done a bang up job with the Dodgers. They are the kings of baseball right now, and he has totally like reinvented and reignited that franchise.
Right, and he spares no expense, right? He cares about winning. He's not one of these like he's not like who's probably replaced him in the Lakers, right? He's not He's not a private equity shithead who just cares about the profit. He wants to win.
Right.
He had some trouble with the Lakers because NBA is different, right? They've more salary cap. They're more strict. And the Dodgers model wasn't necessarily going to work with the Lakers. But which he had a rude awakening, right, with the Lakers.
Right.
But that was just a different kettle of fish. But after he won the World Series, he went to the White House and he gave President Trump a jersey, which is customary, that's standard, but he also gave Trump a World Series ring.
Right.
Which has never been done before.
Right. And now there's this federal investigation against him, which was started kind of a bit ago. This is all kind of coming to a head now because it's with this huge sale of the Lakers. Now, the Lakers acquisition specifically wasn't a part of this investigation, but now people are speculating as to why, after a year, is this guy who cares about winning and doesn't just care about turning a profit, selling one of his major franchises. And the thought is a few things. One, he's maybe trying to, if he loaned out insurance money into his own entities, then that's a risky thing to put people's insurance premiums into. Those are risky assets. So maybe he's doing this because he needs cash, and he is trying to balance his books. He's trying to say, listen, okay, yes, I put some loans over here, but I'm good for the loans. Look, I just sold the Lakers for $12 billion. I have $12 billion in cash to say your insurance premiums, even if the entities where I put the money into goes to shit, I have this $12 billion to pay off the stuff. that then brings it. Let me say the other potential thing too is that he sold it to Trump's son-in-law's brother, to Josh Kushner,
Yes.
and the SEC is investigating him. And clearly, he wants to make sure that he doesn't get fucked in this whole deal. So if he can cozy up with the administration and he can sell one of the most famous franchises in the history of sport to someone in La Familia, then maybe he will get, some pull from the current administration, which doesn't seem that far-fetched of a thing to happen.
So suddenly the SEC, which, is not investigating any of the crypto stuff, is taking such a keen interest in this one scam,
right?
This one potential scam. The other thing that you're missing is Joshua Kushner and Bob Iger had already tried to do something else, which was they tried to buy part of FIFA, like a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Their first choice was to buy FIFA, and Infantino, the head of FIFA, was trying to sell FIFA to Josh Kushner. Now, who is Infantino famously buddies with? Who did he give an award to? A FIFA peace prize to?
Yes.
That had not existed up until this point. He had given it to Donald Trump. So there has already there's already been a sort of pattern of Trump relate people in Trump's orbit trying to do business, of people trying to ingratiate themselves to Trump, also trying to do business with Trump's family members. So the FIFA thing, when you add it all up, the FIFA thing with Infantino, with this investigation into the Walters guy, when you add and then with the Kushner thing, it all kind of stinks. Now the real question is how is this going to affect the F1 thing?
Right. Well, this is the question. This is relevant to the thing because it right now it's the Lakers to maybe clean the books and to cozy up to Kushner, but is Cadillac potentially next on, the for sale sign? Is it going up on the website of things that you can get?
Does Kushner want it?
Does Trump want it?
Trump want it? Does somebody
Trump
in Trump's orbit want it?
He's been to the paddock. He is, this is one of the next properties, and these teams are being valued at absolutely insane valuations, given that the Lakers were sold for $12 billion, and according to Flavio Briatore, Alpine is worth $4 billion.
Well, what's interesting is I think that I'm wondering when the bubble's going to pop on these, because the Lakers were 10, now they're 12, and it's going to keep going up.
Right.
But there has to be a tipping point. Is it going to be worth $20 billion?
No.
$30 billion?
I mean, Flavio, this is putting into new perspective, Flavio's article where he was like, in a few years, they'll be worth 10. And I'm like, Alpine being worth $10 billion if the Lakers are worth 12 is insane.
Well, the case for Alpine being worth 10 is because there's only 11 teams. So Lakers is one of 32 franchises. So
yeah.
So although the Lakers is one of the crown jewels, it's still one of 32. What's interesting is I was I was learning about the Kushner and Iger, and they were desperately trying to get. It's crazy how this came about. So they were desperately trying to get the Vegas franchise, the new Vegas expansion team.
Yes,
and they were really trying, and it was going to be $8 billion plus $2 billion for a stadium. So it was gonna be $10 billion just to get an expansion team in Vegas. So they were wait a minute, we're about to spend $10 billion for a brand new franchise in Vegas.
Right.
What about the Lakers? Right. So for an extra, the Lakers actually only ended up costing them $2 billion more than a franchise that doesn't even exist. It ended up not being that much more money. Like these franchises it's almost a steal.
It's a total steal. It's also like it was done. I mean, it was done seemingly under fucking duress. This whole thing has happened in 48. It took like 72 hours for this deal to happen. Now it still needs to be approved. Whatever. It just maybe goes to show the desperation that Mark Walter has right now and the needing to, clean up as much of his mess as he can while also cozying up to the powers that can maybe make the mess go away completely. And yeah, I do think that it's not out of this. I mean, if you had told me a week ago that they were going to sell the Lakers, I would have said that's insane. He just bought them. Like, why the fuck would he do that? This is not like a housing flip kind of guy. He doesn't buy a house to sell it to flip it in a year. So I just think it's not out of the realm of possibility that if they see some of the writing on the wall about Formula One, let's say these valuations of F1 teams don't just keep going up and up and up and up and up. And if they can get a good price for it and it does find a way to make, Trump happy, is Cadillac, up for sale? I mean, he owns some other properties.
The idea is that the Lakers sale and the World Series ring has done enough to make Trump make this thing
go away.
Investigation go away. You'd think that, the Cadillac's a fucking drop in the bucket compared to the fucking Lakers. Let's be real. And the other thing that you have to learn,
if you can get a multi-billion valuation for it, it's not necessarily a drop in the bucket. If you can sell it for fucking. If you could sell it for $3 billion, then it's not as valuable as Lakers, of course, but it is still of value.
So they're just gonna keep shaking this guy down until he sells everything.
Well,
what's funny is, the other lesson that this teaches us, right, is it's happening in the NBA, and you're going to see it happen in Formula One more and more. Is Mark Walter, he bought it from the Bus family, and he kept the Bus family around, and now he sold this thing for $12 billion, and now Josh Kushner, Bob Iger are coming in with this private equity sort of thing, and as these valuations go up and up, you're not going to see family-owned teams anymore. Everything's going to be owned by fucking private equity,
right?
Teams in Formula One used to be owned by families, by companies that were it's interesting, right? Williams, that was sold a couple of years ago by the Williams family. Red Bull was owned by this singular guy, right? The Dietrich Mateschitz.
Right.
Aston Martin is owned by Lawrence Stroll in a group, but I think pretty soon Mercedes is owned by a board of people, by the Mercedes board. But I think pretty soon, at some point, when these valuations go up, I think at some point it's gonna all be private equity, or it's gonna be like what soccer is now, right? It's gonna be private equity, and it's gonna be
funds,
or it's gonna be
country,
Saudi funds,
sovereign wealth funds,
And you're seeing it in football, you're seeing it in baseball, you're seeing it in basketball. And what happens is when that happens, when you lose people like Mateschitz, when you lose people like the Williams family, when you lose people even Toto Wolff, or people who care, people who actually care about winning and care about racing and care about the sport itself, who are in it for the money, but also for other reasons, that's when you start to see the enshittification of the sports, right? Where it's Pablo Torre was talking about this. He was talking about the fracking of sports. Okay, now we're going to mine this thing for every fucking dollar.
Right.
We're going to exploit the fan for every single thing. They were talking about this with the Knicks. None of the fans could afford to go see the games in the finals, and you couldn't even party outside. Pretty soon, it's going to be like fans can't even like it'll get to a point in football, right, where you can't even tailgate anymore, right? Like tailgating will become too expensive, right?
Sure.
So it's like, but like when they frack too much,
Yes.
then it's
The
going to turn.
valuations. Yeah. The valuations will come down. Yeah.
And then the valuations will come down.
Well, that's where it was kind of interesting, like with the, when Flavio was like, it's all going great. In a couple of years, these will be worth 10 bill. And I just cannot really see that happening. Or if that does happen, that will be highly, highly inflated, and there will be a crash waiting for that to come. There's a lot of talk about like the stock market being overinflated, right? Like the same thing can happen to teams, and valuations of these teams can get overinflated. And Formula One feels a little bit like they are encroaching upon that territory. And if that is the case, then maybe some of these guys are incentivized to sell because they're like, let me get out while these valuations are still insane. So maybe like Walter does look around and say, I maybe can get way more than this thing might be worth in a couple of years, especially if we stay at the fucking back of the grid. Not that that necessarily means anything currently, but maybe down the line it will. Then let me get, my pretty penny for Cadillac. Now, what does that mean? Like, GMC is involved with Cadillac. They're more of a minority stakeholder. Do they try to throw their hat in the ring, or does it go to some type of private equity thing, a la Darlington Capital, or a la like a Josh Kushner kind of moment?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that these sports teams they have on their side is that sports is the only sort of appointment viewing left. Like
sports in the age of the 2020s has become more valuable than any other form of entertainment, really. I mean, it's more valuable than movies, even with the successes of, the IMAX success of the Odyssey. That's once a year, maybe, that there's like appointment viewing for a movie, certainly more valuable than TV. And in the age of social media, where, you actually, it's the only thing that you can see. You can watch everything later, right? But not sports.
Right.
You don't want to see what happened in the sports game on your phone the next day. You want to see it in the moment when it happens. And that's why, these, sports teams have the valuations have gone parabolic.
You're getting a bigger and bigger piece of the pie as the movies and television has kind of shrunk.
Right.
And, I guess we're seeing maybe a potential bubble with these new regs and people revolting a little bit. But I'm wondering, when you see it in football, you see it in with the new stadiums and more luxury boxes and like, right? You see it in airlines, right? It's like more catered to the luxury experience. It's like
which F1 always has been.
But it's like, are they going to just keep doing that to such a degree that eventually it's going to pop? Or will F1 just become the latest? It'll just become the fucking Air One of sports, and they're okay with that.
Yeah, unclear. I mean, they're trying to make it more competitive with the cost cap stuff, and I do think, like, if the racing isn't good, like, listen, the rich people who go to these races don't if you're paying $30,000 for the access to the lounge and the whatever, you're barely watching the race. People go to these things as a networking and, as business expense.
Or
it's
a
like
farming.
Or a farming, or like, let me go, like, meet the other rich and powerful people in this space that is like designed for C-suite type of commingling, and will that be the way? And from that perspective, if it's a good race or a bad race, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not worth the price of admission for the quality of the race. That's not why people are paying, $30,000+ to be somewhere. They're doing it so that they can, have a conversation with a Mark Walters, so that they can have a conversation with formerly a Dietrich Mateschitz, and they can, maybe, it's a worthwhile investment for a larger business enterprise. That's really what's going on there. But that, leaves the fans and the popularity of the sport potentially vulnerable to everything. I just think it's also interesting, like, that they did this firing amidst all of this shit, because it's just only going to like raise questions. It's like, who's pulling the strings here? What's actually going on here? Let me look into like Cadillac. They've been such an afterthought this whole fucking year.
Right.
And then they do this firing the week that the owner is selling his team under duress, still making a profit, by the way. It's like, this is the nicest under duress selling of any asset that I've ever fucking seen.
I know people keep, here's the thing. I find this so funny. People are like, he made a $2.5 billion profit.
He's a
I'm
genius.
Like, he's a genius. I'm saying, if you just put that in the S&P, if you put 10 billion in the S&P, it would be the same thing. It's like when you invest $10 billion into something, $2 billion is not a huge return right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, if you put $10,000 into the S&P and then you got 12 in a year, you'd be like, all right, it's pretty good. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
It's 20%. 20% return. That's solid. That's good. That's legitimately good.
It's a good return. It's a good, but the 2 billion is but he invested 10. Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess in a year that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a 20% return. That's a good return.
It is a good return, but it's just, there's the larger, and then there's also the, like, if he is, found guilty of fraud, because he's being accused of fraud. I mean, these are pretty serious
these
allegations.
Guys never go. What world is a billionaire going to jail? It never happens.
Not going to jail, but does Cadillac all of a sudden have a scarlet letter on it that some of the other teams are like, we don't like this? I don't think so, but that is the other.
Flavio Briatore is running a team. What are you talking about? It's going to be fine.
He doesn't own the team. He's just in there. Anyway, didn't think that we would be talking about Cadillac, but I do find this shit pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
And, it does speak to the larger ecosystem of sport and the larger ecosystem of Formula One. And we're seeing it more and more. These teams, I mean, Alpine, this investment group that bought the 24%, the Travis Kelce investment group, is already trying to sell it. So there is a level where people are maybe thinking, like, let me, like, make good on this investment. And we're seeing that be more and more the case, that, like, teams are treated as assets. That, like, when they've made enough profit and the risk gets too high, then people say, then we got to fucking sell this thing.
Yeah, as opposed to like what they used to be, which is like heirlooms.
Right. It's actually, what's interesting, that's like where Gene Haas is kind of like one of the last, he's just like one guy
He's
holding
the
on
last
to
guy.
it for dear fucking life. He's like, from my cold dead fingers, you'll fucking take Haas. As much as shit as we've given Gene Haas over the year, he's kind of like one of the last remaining, people in the sport like that.
My apartment was owned by a family, and it was their family-owned building. And when I had a problem, I called them, and it was their building. They cared about it. They fixed it.
Right.
This building's now owned by some fucking conglomerate.
Right.
And we don't even have a manager. It's the Wild West out here. They don't give a fuck. We're just money pigs to them. This building is just like an asset in a portfolio. And we're just numbers on a page.
Yeah,
it's completely different when it goes from a family business to an asset under management. A completely different way of looking at it. I just want to say though, he's the good Kushner. He's the good Kushner.
Right.
I say
yes.
He's the good Kushner in private equity.
That's right.
The good Kushner in private equity.
Correct. Speaking of money. And we're talking about billions of dollars, but new reports are coming out that $6 million might be might be the difference maker when it comes to the next couple of seasons. It's been coming out that there is now a $6 million allowance that all the teams have. They're changing the regs. We've been hearing about this. The 50-50, split is going to a 60-40 split. Now, what that brings is that these races, the engines need to provide more power.
Right.
But these cars have been fitted for fuel tanks that don't allot for that. So going forward, the basic understanding is that if you're going to use the engines more, then they need to have more gas in the tanks. But these teams have not prepared for that. So Formula One has given each team the ability to use $6 million over the next 4 years, $3 million for this year and next year, and $3 million for 28 and 29, to make these adjustments, but they can use them not just for the fuel tank, but for other things as well. And this is now bringing up a question of how the teams will invest this extra $6 million windfall that they have, and what they're going to do with it. So, you can use, there's different ways you could use it. You could use all $3 million this year, none next year, and then Jay's correcting me, it's through 2028. This is over the next 3 years. My apologies. But so we can get a little bit of a glimpse as to like what each team thinks is possible for these next few seasons. This is reporting coming from the race. Mercedes has decided to not use their money immediately. They're backloading their money, which speaks of a bit of confidence. McLaren is balanced. Stella said they are in condition to spend money and want to add another half a second by the year's end, but they are deliberately keeping budget in the bank. He warns that rivals could be playing with fire if they burn their $3 million too early. Ferrari is going aggressive with it. They are doing a bunch of updates to keep the pressure on. This is what Toto Wolff has recently said, that like Ferrari, where are they getting this money to do all these things? Fred Vasseur has denied that they are spending more than they have the ability to, and Red Bull has pivoted to the future. Mecky's signaled that they are devoting more resources to the 2027 project, indicating that this year for them feels like a bust. So if we're reading into these tea leaves, seems like Ferrari's trying to go aggressive for this year to try to use this money now in order to potentially win a championship. Mercedes doesn't seem that bothered. McLaren is being a little bit more even, and Red Bull is let's use it down the line because 2026 is a wash. What does this all say to you?
I think Ferrari is stupid because they don't have the winning mentality. They're not in the position to win. They're not gonna let Lewis win. They're not going to rally around Lewis. They're not going to win the constructors. They're not going to win the drivers. So why aren't they punting? It feels like you have to punt because this season you're not going to win this season. Unless you're trying to get second, unless you're happy with second, then I don't know why you're not punting till next year like everybody else is and hoping against hope that you come out on top the following year, because it seems like Mercedes is going to win this year. Or maybe you're just trying to keep ahead of McLaren. I don't know what they're thinking.
Well, it seems interesting to me. It's what you said, but it's also like if you're gonna spend the money this year, then you should be doing everything in your power to rally behind whoever has the best chance of winning the Drivers' Championship, which right now is Lewis Hamilton. So like, if you're not doing that, then why the fuck are you spending the extra money right now?
If you don't have the stomach to fully commit, then like on the track, then don't fully commit financially. Because let's just be honest. If the way they're pussyfooting about it, Lando Norris could probably catch him. Given the way he has the measure of Oscar, and he's going to gobble every time the McLaren's good. He'll probably gobble up as many points as possible.
Right.
Even with the papaya rules, Oscar's been largely a non-factor in these races. So I don't know. I think that this is a mistake. I think, I love punting. I love in tennis where they throw sets. I'm like, brilliant.
Right. I would do that. Yeah.
Maybe next set will be better. Throw this fucking set.
Well, but it's like if you are going to do it, then you should be like, if it is true that Ferrari is spending their money now, then they need to have a difficult conversation with one Charles Leclerc about what the
Yes.
expectations are for the rest of this year. Because why the
Yes.
fuck are you spending
Yes.
extra budget right now if you are not prepared to do everything within your power to win right now? They are the only one really right now on the grid that is like suffering from the papaya rules kind of conversation, because Mercedes has been a non-factor. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year if George can find some new form. McLaren seems to be a bit of a non-factor, even though there was the drama around the last win with Oscar, but you know, Lando's had the measure of Oscar this year. Obviously, Red Bull's not going to be a factor in this way. The only team that is like kind of like, well, we love both of you guys. We love you both is Ferrari, and they're the team in theory that should be doing everything they can to rally behind one guy. So yeah, it seems like, you know,
maybe
that's more.
George, maybe I remember when Lando was struggling last year, and then he made it official with Magui or Maggie.
Okay. Yes. Well, let's
So
talk about
maybe-
this.
Maybe
Let's talk about
maybe this is what. Maybe finally he made it official with George made it official with Carmen,
Yes.
and now that he's sorted out that side of his life, maybe now he'll have the pace. Maybe he had too many unknowns, right? Doesn't Toto? What are we? Carmen? What are we? He had to nail that down.
Right.
But no, I think this was a huge mistake on George's part. Massive mistake.
Why? Go on.
Because you know, planning and because listen, planning, you know, because I know, because I've done this before.
Right.
So you mean to tell me during his championship season, the most important season of his life, this motherfucker was planning a proposal, picking out a fucking ring, agonizing about his speech? Because motherfucker, I agonized about my proposal. I planned everything out to a T. It took up a lot of RAM in my head.
Yeah. You can listen back to those episodes. Matt was not on top of his game.
I was not on top of my game when I was planning my proposal.
The hot takes were lukewarm. The hot takes were lukewarm.
I was Hamlet about, oh, should I propose? Should I not? Agonizing. If I'm George Russell, I'm punting that decision till after the season. I'm not even. We'll have the discussion about the discussion when this is over.
Right.
That's my thing. Carmen, she'll say, hey, when are we? Like, your biological clock is ticking. My biological clock is ticking when it comes to this fucking championship. Okay.
That's right.
Because we can't freeze my reflexes. Okay. This is it. Okay. It's now or never.
This is like a horrible term they use in the medical field. Like if you're over 35 and you get pregnant, they call it a geriatric pregnancy. George Russell is in a geriatric title run right now because this is the one and only shot that he fucking has to win a championship.
He is an octogenaric title run. He is in a terminal title run. And he's talking about his engagement, and now she's going to be showing him floral plans. And what about this, George? And what about this for the cake? And should we? Oh my God, it's not over once you get engaged. It's just begun, my friend.
Right.
Are we doing sweetheart table? Are we doing friends table? Are we sitting with the parents? Are we getting married in your hometown? In my hometown?
Will Toto come?
Are we doing 100?
You think Toto's going to to
You think Toto's going to come?
There?
You think Toto can give me away?
Where should we put Toto and Susie? Will they be at our table? You think Susie?
Right.
Maybe we'll put that us. It'll be a sweetheart table plus Toto and Susie. How about that? Okay, here's the hope. Here's the hope. Is that if he was distracted for the first half of the year because he was playing an engagement and buying a yellow diamond ring, which, unclear how much it cost. Jenny threw out a very large number. That oval cut yellow diamond ring, estimated 8 to 10 Karens, goes for apparently $1.3 million. This is a very expensive ring. if he's getting fired from Mercedes, then he's going to want some of that back. Anyway, the hope is that now that this monkey's off of his chest and he's gotten this done, that he can be like, maybe lock in for the second half of the year. You see this pessimistically. I see this positively. I see, listen, he's found a girl who will take him when he's in the fucking doldrums, when he's in the slums of Formula One. That this year, the year where he was supposed to be anointed, he was supposed to be crowned king, he is currently eating slop off of the floor as Kimi Antonelli sits atop the throne, and she still wants to marry him. So maybe that's just the level of contentment that George needs in order to launch a comeback for the second half of the season. That's where my positive mind goes to.
Go back to the negative. He says, Carmen brings me stability when it comes to racing and also a way to disconnect. Without doubt, she's my future. So I hope we'll be married in due course. It won't be next week, but it won't be 5 years. Somewhere in that time frame. I'm like, so between next week and 5 years. So he's engaged. And so maybe they'll be married 3 years from now. So like, why get married? Why get engaged now if you're not going to get married in the next couple of years?
I think it feels to me as a romantic and not a cynic like you, that he was like, you know what? Let me like, this speaks to me of like there's bigger things in life, which is maybe exactly what he needed to embrace, because he has had the perspective of the only thing that matters in my life is Formula One and achieving my goal and getting the A+ in the test from one Toto Wolff. And now it's like he's setting up his life outside of Toto Wolff. He's setting up his life outside of Mercedes. Maybe that's exactly what he needs to launch the comeback.
Also, how do we feel about spending $1 million on a ring?
That's insane.
It's kind of insane, especially
it's completely insane if that is to be believed to be the cost of that ring. That is fucking insane.
I don't care how rich you are.
You can't even wear it. Where would you wear it? You can't wear it. I mean, in Monaco, I guess, but like, they let schmucks into Monaco. You can just fucking go there. You say, oh, there's Carmen. Fucking snatch the ring off her finger. You can't be walking around with $1 million on your every day. On your ring, on your finger?
Look, it's bad for the environment. That's why I did lab grown for my wife.
Right.
Not because I couldn't afford. Not because I couldn't afford. I could have definitely sprung for $1 million ring, for sure. I just chose not to. I did lab grown.
Pod's going well.
Also, could you imagine if he spent $1 million on a lab grown? He could have gotten her the most. He could have carved an apartment into the ring. Yeah. He could have saved the environment, and that ring would have been the size of her head. He could have had the best of both worlds. $1 million lab grown.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. Also, like, he's not that rich. Like, how much?
I mean, I think he's making like 20-something million a year with his Mercedes contract. So, but that, it should be like what, 3 months salary, isn't they say?
Okay. So anyway, then it's fine.
I guess it's fine. But, he doesn't have, he's insecure about the size of his boat. So he had to overdo it with the ring, whatever. But that's what George has been doing over his little summer break from Formula One. But some of these other guys have been also out here partying. And you know what? I really had a realization, because Lando has been out here. He's partying with one
Alex Earl.
He's been partying with Alex Earl. He was on, Max Futrell did like a live Twitch stream, and he was like shirtless on their yacht, and they were like making cocktails, and he kept insisting that he wasn't drinking any alcohol, but he seemed kind of drunk in the stream. He out here being a party boy, and I was thinking about it because we did the party boy episode that all of you loved. Actually, I thought that was a fucking great episode, and for the people that watch it, they seem to enjoy it, but not many people fucking watched it. So if you haven't watched it, you should go watch that, because it was, or listen to it. It was a great episode. But I was thinking about like this current grid now with George getting engaged too. And it really feels like this isn't literally what's happening, but like Lando Norris is basically the only single Formula One driver.
Yeah, it's true. Cause like Isaac has a girlfriend, Ollie has a girlfriend, Gabby, like all the young guys are fucking wifed up.
Dude, let's go through like the entire grid right now. Everyone is partnered up. I think maybe Kimi Antonelli single. I think Kimmy's single. He had a girlfriend. I think they broke up. I think he is single. So that's, Lewis, obviously, with Kim. He's been posting. They are full on. Can I say as someone who was like, I ship them, and the season that he's having, I've been proven right. They're in love, and I can't wait to be invited to their wedding. George Russell, now engaged. Charles Leclerc, married and expecting. Max Verstappen, married. Or are they married? Did they get married?
No, not married.
They still aren't married.
Not married.
Married, but they have a fucking kid together, and he's a stepdad to her kid. They're essentially married. Oscar Piastri,
girlfriend, long-term girlfriend.
Hadjar, girlfriend. Lawson, girlfriend. Gasly, girlfriend. Lindblad, did you say that Lindblad has a girlfriend?
I don't know if Lindblad has a girlfriend.
I don't know about Lindblad. Colapinto, I also think might be single. Behrman, girlfriend. Bortoletto, girlfriend. Carlos Sainz, girlfriend. Alex Albon, engaged. Ocon, girlfriend. Hulkenberg, married. Alonso has a child now. Stroll, girlfriend. Bottas, girlfriend, essentially married. And Perez, wifed up. Literally, there's like 3 single F1 drivers. So Lando Norris is like out here just like cleaning. He's got no competition. He's on a fucking island. Honestly, I look at Lando Norris like out here like living it up, and I'm like, he's the only one doing like everyone's just
when F1
up.
comes to town. When F1 comes to town, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yes.
He is literally the only eligible bachelor on the entire grid
who's not a fucking teenager, essentially. Yeah, Kimi and Colapinto, and he's that's it. Lando's the only. Can I just say, as much stick as he's the only one doing it right, dude. Like he's out here with Alex Earl in Ibiza, clubbing, hanging out with Martin Garrix, just like at the fucking DJ table. Like he's the only one, who is like living the Formula One Playboy lifestyle.
Yeah,
in 2026.
Well, it's because Oscar is not driving well. I mean, it's just. If I'm Oscar Piastri, it's like, God damn it, he's not even trying that hard. Like, Oscar lives like a fucking Buddhist monk, and he still can't manage. And Lando's barely even... Lando's like fucking living like Jordan, and he can't even fucking beat him.
Yeah.
It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. He's dating a fucking TikTok star. It's horrible. Like your teammate can't be getting drunk and like fucking Instagram models and then torch your ass on a weekly basis. We can't. I mean, I'm a big Oscar fan, but that's not good.
I just think that's part of that's like maybe part of the Lando superpower. It's like why, what happened. He was partying with Martin Garrix and then he won a race afterwards. Like he needs to kind of be in that mode. The more seriously he takes it, like the worse off he does.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It just feels like it's kind of like evidence of like these guys need valves to get rid of the, like, it's like there's so much pressure. They gotta like have the escapes.
Right, but if I studied all weekend for a test and then you like fucked off and partied all weekend and come in with hickeys all over your neck and then do better on the test, I mean, I'm gonna murder you. Like I'm gonna kill you. Like you're dead. Like I will kill you because that is just so unfair. Like.
Dude,
I
don't know.
I'm
dude.
just
I think he could win the whole. I think he could win the whole fucking thing.
Maybe fucking my girlfriend once missionary, and I still do worse. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's wifed up, dude. Everyone is wifed up except Lando.
Including Esteban Ocon, who went. I gotta say, if I see him at one more Spider-Man premiere, if I see him at one more Spider-Man premiere,
yeah,
it's like, does he have any other facet of his personality? Like, let's think about this. What would he put on his dating profile if he was single? Like,
if he just out here looking for my Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I'm just a Peter Parker out here looking for my Mary Jane. Let's go through every driver and say, what would their bio on a dating profile be?
Yeah.
Let's go through everyone. Okay, so yes, Esteban Ocon, I'm just a Peter Parker out here looking for my Mary Jane.
Looking for my Mary Jane.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it by team. Let's do Ollie Behrman next.
Ollie Behrman. What would he say?
Something about a bear, like cuddly like a teddy, but fierce like a grizzly. Some shit like that.
So yeah.
Teddy. Yeah. Oh, no. Hold on. Well, grizzly. Oh, you want to say like Teddy in the sheets and a grizzly on the streets?
Yeah.
Call me the bear man.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's go from the bottom to the top, and we'll end with the top guys. Cadillac, Perez.
Perez.
It would be lame. What do they call him? The Street King, right? King of the streets.
King of the streets and the sheets.
All right, now yeah. King of the streets and the sheets. Valtteri Bottas would be like something goofy and dumb. It would be like something about his mustache, maybe.
Free mustache rides.
Yeah. I can drive you around on my car, or you can ride on. You can take a drive on my mustache.
Yeah.
Free mustache ride is free. That's good. Okay, Aston Martin, Lance Stroll.
He wouldn't have even filled it out. It would just be like...
It would just say, like, insert answer here.
Yeah, it would just be blank. He would not even fill it out.
Yeah. Okay. Fernando Alonso?
The blade is sharp, but the mind is sharper. But the mind's sharper. A true samurai wins battles before drawing steel. You'd be like, okay,
this guy's intense.
Swipe to the left. It would be some like grind set alpha male shit like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the Williams team. Alex Albon.
It would be something about his pets, or like just a dog dad looking for his, for
just
his
a turtle
dog
mom.
/ cat,
Yeah, dog dad looking for his cat mom.
Oh yeah, dog dad looking for his cat mom.
That's good. Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz should just be like, just look at the picture. Just check out, Do I need to say anything?
Yeah.
No, honestly, what we would have is some like lame smooth operator joke.
Some smooth operator. Something about being a smooth operator.
I'm a smooth operator.
I'm a smooth operator.
Care to test me out?
Yeah. It'd be really fucking lame.
Bortoletto, something about like The Sim. Max Verstappen says Max Verstappen likes me.
Max Verstappen's protege.
Yeah. If you can sim race, I guess you can hang.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg.
It would just be a bunch of pics of him on the podium, on the one podium.
One-time podium finisher.
Podium finisher, Nico Hulkenberg.
Or something about like being around the block, like, I've been around the block a few times. I can show you. I can show you what's going on.
No games. Not here for games or something like,
Okay, we did the two Haas guys. Alpine, Franco Colapinto. I'm cute. I look like Senna, and if you wrong me, my fans, your life is over. Your life is finished. Gasly. My friends call me tripod.
My friends call me tripod. It's so embarrassing.
It's so actually, you know, we talked about the book. I'm gonna give a little spoiler away for our book, for the Pierre Gasly segment, because we do like driver profiles, so we write about a bunch of the different drivers, right?
Yeah.
So for the Pierre Gasly illustration,
he's a tripod. That's right.
It's him on a tripod.
That's right.
What other Formula One book is fun like this? I give you the answer, none. You pre-order right now. It's going to be the bestseller. Lightning McQueen. Who's the girl? Who plays
His
in
would
cars?
say like Ka-chow or something. Ka-chow.
No, but who's the Porsche that he falls in love with?
Just a
Sally Carrera.
Just a Lightning McQueen looking for my Sally Carrera.
Just Lightning McQueen out here looking for my Sally Carrera. That is absolutely 100% correct. Okay, Red Bull, Max Verstappen.
What would he say?
You are pretty. We should have babies. I'll show you what happens when you don't leave the space.
I'll show you what happens when you don't leave the space. Exactly.
Hajar is like sleeper body. Let's see what else I'm hiding underneath.
His would be like I always go for the gap or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I always go for the gap.
I always go for the gap. Oscar, another one who you like can't imagine flirting.
Yeah.
Makes sense that he's locked the fuck up.
Oscar would just be like 5'11", 165 pounds. Just be his stats.
Yeah, just a stat line.
Just a stat, 5'11", 165 pounds.
No what would STDs. Lando have?
What would Lando have? This would say reigning Formula One World Drivers Championship.
That's right.
No. Lando. Jenny says Lando would just have his current location.
That's right. Meet me here tonight.
Yeah.
It's just location settings on.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the club. Charles Leclerc would be like, you know, something about the dog.
Some poem or some sad. Some fucking sad ass poem.
Some sad ass poem.
Some sad ass poem.
Some Shakespeare sonnet. Some Shakespeare sonnet.
Some French poem by Rimbaud or some shit like that.
Lewis, I think, would just be like a link to the song. I
love it when you lay the pipe down, pipe down, pipe down.
That's all right. George Russell.
George Russell would be. His would just be like Mercedes Petronas AMG. Like he would say the full. He would say the full name, the full government name. F1 driver.
Yeah. Just that would just be his bid, the bio.
Yeah.
Like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And then Kimi Antonelli.
Oh, Jenny says the shaka emoji.
Yeah.
The hang loose emoji.
Hang loose. You know what? As we did this, because I was like, wow, this is going to be fun. And then as we were doing it, I was like, these guys aren't. And then, you know, it makes sense why none of them are on the market anymore. But it just, it makes me think of like, this is when Formula One is its biggest, right? Like, this is like, if there was ever a time for these guys to be like in full fuckboy mode, like it would be now.
Yeah, but it's also like hard. Like you probably got to get all the NDAs and like every person,
they all
every
figure
woman
it out.
you
They all
meet,
find a way to do it. It's like all these guys.
they all. There's only one of them.
No, but like in other sports, like, you know, it's
Right.
like, you know,
Right.
I guess they all kind of did in that a lot of them like had girlfriends, then broke up with said girlfriends and are now with their new girlfriends and who are now becoming their, you know, like they all kind of, they had their people that, a lot of them had their people that they were with before F1 was cool.
Right.
They broke up with said people and are now with their like the new people.
But did Leclerc ever have like a hoe phase? No. Gasly had like a hoe phase. Probably.
Kind of. It's like, as we were talking about Gasly, it's like in theory Gasly is like a party boy and like a playboy, but like in practice he's actually just like a dog boyfriend.
That's right. I mean, who actually had a hoe phase of any of these guys?
No one. Like
no
Lando.
One. Lando's
at least that was like pretty public. And Lewis, you know.
That's right.
Anyway. That does it for this episode. We've got the racing is coming back soon. Next week we are going to be, or no, it's this upcoming week, right? This is coming out on Monday. And the next race is this upcoming Sunday, right?
Hell yeah.
Yes. So that means, okay, we're going to be doing a predictions episode with Gunter for Zandvoort on Wednesday. So make sure that you are tuned in for that. Make sure you subscribed wherever you are watching and or listening to this. And, you know, this podcast wouldn't be possible if it wasn't all for you all listening, but it really wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the Patreon. The Patreon really is what makes this pod possible. It's what made it possible at the start. It'll make it what's possible now, and it'll be making what's possible forever. Most specifically, our daddies of the pod. So we got to thank them. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan, Texera, Jay Lingo, Spencer Grieve, Javier, Sheila, Valeria, Chandler, Alice, Santana, Carlo, Warlow, Kimberly, Whalen, Alonso, My Face 69, Dunya Dana, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Cat, Future Dr. Dion, Steph Grossi, Laura, Emily, Galen Water, Cody Hollis, my F1 Daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science, Saint, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts. Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Koski, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eve the Y, Devin, aka the Future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuka Sonoda's other mother, Jenny is the reason I am a daddy, Aaron, Megan, Pineapple the Y, Matt has a secret wonder for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary, Carolina, my name is AJ, and fuck the HOA. K-Mac and fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race school program and executive editor, Sarah, I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jed, good luck out there. Alice Insane, Judge, F1 Dude Company, Trent Sicklin, Code Brown, Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Jeans, Rocks, or Chohan, Cattle Lick My Balls, Stay Fierce, Leclerc, Truth, Bring 'em, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Carlos Sainz, OP Goblin, right meow, James, DNCGT, Finney, Dad Kev Not Magnuson, Mr. Ed, Bobby, Lando Norris' unofficial girlfriend, why do I always huck two on this name, Winkin, Lizzie Y, Jafar from afar, Stroll paid the troll toll to get in the boys' hole, Andrew Prisco, Rojo, the Bambino, the Great Palbino, Sausage Boy Atticus, Uno Cinco, Scott Menslice, Cappuccino Lays, Ford Inbody, Andrew and Paige, and our latest daddy, David, honorary daddy of the pod this week, every week, Nicole Piastri. If you want to become a daddy of the pod, go to patreon.com/TRF pod. Join the resistance today. We will read out your name at the end of every regular Red Flags episode. We will see you on Wednesday, Vankas. Goodbye.
Bye, Vankas.